I want to cover a few very positive things happening in my backyard today. Inside here, I don't know if he'll show up, is a 4-day-old baby chick that I'm slowly acclimating. Let's see if we can see him to the outdoor temperature since they hatch at 102. Hey, little guy. He almost had a roommate, but sadly a snake got it. There's a couple eggs that might be hatching soon, so he won't be growing up in isolation. Hey, Cracker, you stay in here. You stay there, buddy. You stay. There's a couple things back here I want to share with people. I'm really having fun reinventing my yard based on the water-wise container gardening approach of drilling and making and burying tons and tons of them. There's two 55-gallon ones I'm working on. Got bad news on duck. Is Mama Duck, the second Mama Duck, there she is back there, is down to 1 duckling. I only ever saw a maximum of 3, and I think that cat that thinks it's mine must have gotten the other 2, and she is ferociously guarding it. I tried to catch it yesterday to put it in the duck pen to ensure it survives, and she really went after me because I think she thought I was going to hurt it. And Mr. Duck has gotten even meaner since they hatched. Here's the babies, which are growing remarkably quickly. I still cannot believe how quickly they've gotten so big. Here's the main thing I wanted to share back here. Is my mystery grape, Gray Street Grape, which fruited for the first time last year, is simply going bonkers this year. I cannot believe the number of grapes it's setting wherever I look on this thing. Even the section of it that consumed the roof of what used to be the quail pen. Now that growth is 1 year old, it's setting grapes. But there's just literally thousands and thousands and thousands of grapes on this. This is the one that I feel is either likely a form of Vitis estivalis, or I tend to lean much more towards a hybrid bred for Florida called Conquistador. But I just marvel at the number of grapes. Now here at the end, and I guess I can't tell any longer where one ends and the other one begins, but Gracie's grape, the base of which is planted here at the bottom, again I can't tell who's who, but there's grapes also wherever I look. So I feel these here at this end are probably Gracie's grape, which is also has a very nice Concord type flavor. In fact, I think this is Gracie's grape because she does make much tighter clusters. That's one bit of good news. Another bit of good news is I've got this whole southwest hill zone just about recaptured from weeds. I let the chickens de-weed it for me. It's now turning into more of a plant nursery area. I scrounged years ago this kiddie pool and that blue thing, and I use them to bottom water plants. Here's some roses I purchased that need to be divided, and occasionally plunge them in there. There's Mollicaia I'm getting ready to pot up for the plant business today. Here's a zucchini in a water-wise container garden. This one here is a different variety, and I gave it some of that azomite mineral that Jerry gave me to test, which is a source of incredible numbers of trace elements. Got a calabaza pumpkin growing in a buried 55-gallon water-wise container garden. Inside that green box is another buried 55-gallon water-wise container garden with another calabaza. The reason I have the box over is to keep it protected from the squirrels until they get bigger. My rain barrel, the chai is coming back from the freeze, the cassava is coming back from the hard freeze we had, which was 27 degrees. There's my wonderful Jamaican cherry I've wanted for years. But the big thing that's going to be happening in this area and possibly the next hill zone, which is the last one to be civilized, is I've really gotten excited about the African jack bean after getting 2 videos sent to me from somebody in Indonesia. So yesterday I planted several pockets of jack bean throughout here. I'm going to let them colonize most of this anti-chicken fence here because the chickens are learning to jump over it. My soil line has height, I should say, has so increased here at my path, which used to be well below the height of the fence, is now it's getting higher and higher and higher. and I'm having a problem with the chickens, despite their wings being clipped, of getting in here. So I've got a jack bean planted there, actually every several feet. So I feel once this whole section is colonized by vine, it will serve as a true anti-chicken barrier. There's my daily shower water heating up. That there is ginger. I'm going to have to check the tag, but I believe it's either conventional culinary ginger or galangal. I'm probably going to bury that bucket right there. Ginger is very thirsty, and it's gotten hard to keep it alive in South Tampa in the soil. Back there is my muscadine grape, a variety called Triumph, and I have mingled with it at the base a Blue Lake that I bought last year at Lowe's to compare to Gracie's grape, which I've always thought was a likely ID on it. Lots happening in here. My goal is to be tidier, neater, a little bit more organized, continue my reduction of water use, and increasingly rely on my poultry to help contain weed issues for me before they get out of hand. And that's what I'm shooting for this year, is to turn them loose when the weed seeds are tiny before things can get out of hand. So far, no sign of fruit set yet on this mystery citrus seedling, even though it bloomed for the first time this year. I'm dying to find out what it is. Let's pan back at the hen house. And you can see the incredible vigor of gray Street Grape. And I love how it's completely consumed the roof of what's now the duck pen. And let's come over here. Now the chickens got up here, and actually I see now they've eaten a great many of the grapes that had formed, plus they were nibbling the foliage. But this is going to give the duck pen a nice shade canopy in the summer. Yeah, look, wherever you look, there's grapes. What you can't really see too well in here, on the roof of the quail pen, well, duck pen now, I'm trying to propagate cuttings in pots full of soil, because I do not do a good job with rooting grapes from cuttings. So I saw a video of a guy who simply plunges existing vines into a pot of soil and buries it. And I'm guessing I'll know by, say, June or July if it's worked, so I can begin selling this wonderful grape for Florida. The flavor is virtually Concord, and the true Concords are considered next to impossible in Florida. If this is conquistador, which I'm inclined to think, it's got a fair amount of Concord in the lineage. So that's pretty much it on the Starnes farm today. Goodbye, Mr. Duck. He does this 24 hours a day. I swear this duck never sleeps. Bye-bye, y'all.